after last week's house tour, I thought it would be fun to have a little closer look at the living area downstairs and the kitchen. As I've told you in the previous video, I didn't film everything from the renovation we've done up to this part because I didn't know I was going to make this channel. But we did make photos and portrait videos on our phone, so I'll be able to share some things that we've done already so that you will be totally up to speed. And then I will also share some plans that we have mainly about the kitchen. So how we're going to do it, which colors are we going to use, and so on. So first of all, I'm in the kitchen right now. And this is what the kitchen actually used to look like. It's a kitchen from the 90s. It's set up all around the walls and it had upper cabinets. And it's totally different from what we wanted to do, so we decided to take it all out. As it also was really old, 30 years old, we really felt like this house could use a new kitchen, so that's what we are going to do. So my husband did all the demolition, and after taking out the whole kitchen, it looked something like this. And what you can see also is a lot of rubble from walls. That's because we also took out a wall in between the kitchen and the living area. And this wall was not load bearing, so we could easily take it out. And then we were left with this open space, which you can see right here, and we were really happy with it. It opened the area up much more. The kitchen was actually quite dark, and we have very low ceilings here, so it felt a little confined. So this is much better right now. But then came the story of our floor. So we wanted to put in floor heating. So floor heating is something that you can put on top of the floor, but because the ceilings are not really that high, we didn't want to add a few centimeters for just this floor heating. And the other option is to have it milled in the floor. So you make slots in the floor and then you can put a tube which has warm water running through it, and thus you can heat up your room. So that's what we wanted to do, but for that we thought that the floor that was already in here was suitable to have these slots milled in. Unfortunately, this was not the case. So that made for a much higher cost for the milling, and we also had to demolish the floor that was in here already. So this is like a floor of little pebbles, specific type floor, which I think is very normal maybe for the 80s or 90s, I don't know, but it was really ugly, really old. There were like stains and color differences everywhere. So we had to get it out, and it was really, really horrible. And Søren, my husband, did all of this on his own, which is incredible. Let me show some footage of how this worked, especially in the beginning when he just did it with a drill, basically. So here you can see him on his knees, trying to get all this stuff, all these little pebbles that are stuck on the floor. And yeah, it was so much dust, and it was a horrible job. Then eventually, so we had to do this for the entire living room. Eventually he hired this machine so that he could stand up, but still it was not fun to do. Eventually he got everything out, and it took him a lot of time, and then afterwards we could have the milling done, and then you can see right here what it looks like. So you have like this pattern of this tube running through your floor. It looks quite cool actually. And then finally came the time that I could start helping out with this floor. The kids could stay with their grandparents, and we had about 2 weeks to renovate and work on the house. We put in a PU cast floor, and for that to work, we have to work with several layers. So first of all, we had to close off the slots from the milling. We filled that with a kind of cement that you can just scrape over it. So this basically meant getting on our knees and just going through the entire living room and filling all these slots with the cement. After that, we had to put on a coat of primer, which luckily we didn't have to get on our knees for, and we can just roll it on. And then we had to put on a leveling layer. I think you call it egaline in English. In Dutch it's called egelina, so it's the same word basically. Well, you can also scrape it on the floor and make sure it levels out the space and there are no more bumps in the floor. As the cast floor is really thin, you really want the layer of the floor to be really flat. So that's what we did. After that, we needed to put on another layer of primer. And finally, we could start really seeing some results because we could put on the cast floor, the PU cast floor. So that meant getting on our knees again, just making all these buckets, filling them together, stirring everything, and then just also scrape it all over the floor. While I was doing it, I felt like I was working with molten white chocolate. It was really this weird substance, and but I really liked doing it. It worked really well. It was easy to get it really flat, and the only thing was that when you've got an area done, you can't really walk on it anymore. And there were like little bugs getting in it. So now we have some bugs in the floor, like small flies, which we can never get out of it again. So I'm not sure how professional people do this. We tried taking some of them out, but eventually you can't touch it anymore because it has to dry, and there were just little bugs getting in it. It was a little bit frustrating. But oh well, I have to say, now that it's done, you don't really notice them anymore, and it's not that many, so it's okay. And afterwards, we had to finish this floor off with a transparent coat to make it really solid for scratching and everything. And that went a little bit wrong, so you just have to put on one layer. But when we looked at it after it drying, you could still see like the rollers in the floor, so that was a bit of a problem. And so we called the people that we ordered it from, and they said we had to sand it all down and put on a new layer. So that's what we did. We rented a machine, sand it all down, and then we did another coat, and luckily now it looks perfect. So I'm really happy with the result. It's quite light. It's a light floor. It's beige, but it also has a little bit of a white tone. I think it's a little bit lighter than I expected, but it's okay because we are living in the woods and we have a lot of large trees around us, so it's not dark in the house, but a light floor helps to keep it more bright. So that's what we have. Another really big job was the ceilings. So there was a beadboard ceiling in it, schootjesplafond. And in the Netherlands, this is considered to be very old-fashioned, and in most houses it is taken out. So we decided to take it out as well. We were actually advised by our inspector to take it out because it's a fire hazard. So we did that and we put in new ceilings. So this was also quite a big job, which we didn't really expect on beforehand. So that took much longer than we wanted. But we managed to do it. We put in a whole new wooden frame on the ceiling. We had to level every plank to make sure, plank, do you call it plank? I don't know, every wooden beam thingy. And we had to level it out because you want everything to be straight all over the place. Otherwise it would look really weird. That took a lot of time. And then we put on these plaster boards, I think what you call them, and we had professionals come in and plaster the whole ceiling because that would have been crazy to do all above your head. And now everything looks really clean and nice. So what is left to do now is the walls. My husband started doing some plastering on the walls already. He has a little bit of experience with plastering in our last house, but he's not a professional, but he's doing his best. Yeah, we have to keep costs low for something, so that's why we're doing it ourselves. Although a lot has already been done with the floor and the ceiling and some of the walls, there's still much left to do because we can hardly call this a kitchen right now. We have to finish up the walls right here and of course paint everything. And we have to put in piping for everything kitchen related. And luckily we have a crawl space underneath, so we can easily drill holes in the wall and put all the piping underneath the floor, which is ideal for us. So let me tell you a little bit about our plans for the setup of this kitchen. So first of all, we want to make a kitchen island right here in the middle. It's going to be more than 3 meters long, and eventually it will stop right about here. As we have the pantry right here, we want to be able to access it very easily. And then on the back wall, we'll have cabinets all the way from the floor to the ceiling. And on the left, we'll have the fridge. Over here, we'll have the oven at a nice height. And then on the right side here, we'll have a bit of a coffee corner with also a countertop right here. So we'll have plenty of space to work and also a lot of storage space, but we also have the pantry. On the island on this side, we'll also have seating area, which I think will be very nice when we're cooking. And this window will eventually, maybe in a few years, I'm not sure yet, become a 2 open doors to the terrace, which will be very nice when you sit here, and also when you prepare food, you can easily take it out onto the terrace and enjoy it. Although the choices for the setup have pretty much been made, we still have some choices to make when it comes to the materials. So we had a 3D drawing made, which I'll show you right now. And we're very happy with everything and how it looks. But the materials and colors have not yet been chosen. So how are we going to make this kitchen? Well, we're going to do almost everything ourselves. We've actually already ordered all the cabinets from IKEA. So the base is going to be IKEA, just the cabinets and the drawers. And then everything else will actually be tailor-made. So we'll have cabinet doors and the drawers and everything will all be tailor-made, as well as the countertops. So eventually we have a beautiful quality kitchen, and the base cabinets from IKEA are quite good quality. We've had the same setup in our previous kitchen and we're very happy with it. So the cabinets of the island will be made with this gorgeous walnut veneer. We'll have them made by someone we actually know. And for the cabinets of the back wall with the fridge and the oven, we actually had in mind something like this. Of course, colors on screen are always quite different from what you see in real life. We're going to have to paint these, and we can choose any color we actually like. So I've made some samples with colors that I prefer, and let's put them on the wall and see what we like. Actually haven't made our choice yet. We know that it's not going to be this oak apple. We think it's a little bit too yellowish. I really like this one, and I really love the clay one. So I think this one has my preference for now. So when you look at it this way, on the white wall, these colors are beautiful. You also have to compare them to the floor, because that's actually the surface that it's going to touch. So let's do that and see if that makes any difference. For now, I think these two are too dark. This is also quite a dark corner, so I really like this one. So let's put it on the floor for a bit too. And this is one of the darker ones, which I didn't really like. And this is the clay one, but I think it's very similar to the floor. So we have to see if that is something that we want. This is travertine. It's also quite similar, but a little bit darker maybe. It's difficult decision. When I look at it together with the floor, I might actually like the loot one as well. We'll keep you posted. Decision has not been made yet. Ik zou even gewoon even op de kantjes uit proberen.
Ja, die liggen wel echt strak tegen elkaar aan.
Ja.